I'd like to welcome everybody to a new edition of Checkmate. Now, the newest thing that's going on right now with this Drake and Kendrick battle is that word is Kendrick won the battle. My opinion is a little different, but word is that he won the battle. This dude puts out the Just Like Us single, and what they did was a huge Juneteenth show where he had all of these miscellaneous West Coast artists up there, some performing, some just up there giving up dap, throwing up their set and all of that stuff, and basically celebrating his victory. Now the undertone message of the whole thing was uniting the West Coast, which I am all for. I'm all for that. Now here at Checkmate, we believe that a man stands on his own too, handles his business. So how I look at it is, you guys used one man to catapult multiple artists on their agendas. Multiple. I've seen several new projects drop from the artists that attacked Drake over the last several months. Several new ones. So you had to attack one person to get yourself where you want to be. That's not the way to go. You never stand on one man to get higher up to where you need to be. You just stand on your own too. But anyways, that's my opinion. That's the opinion of Checkmate in this show. That's how we operate. But back to the content. Kendrick is supposed to release a video. I'm assuming the video will be airing in the next 24 to 48 hours, maybe over this weekend, which is the weekend following the Juneteenth performance, which was on Amazon, aired for free all over the world. Interesting. He even brought Dr. Dre out. It was weird looking at him. I hardly recognized him until he, started doing the old Dr. Dre arm swing. I'm like, oh yeah, there go Dre. There go Big Dre. That was dope. It was dope. I was really happy to see the West Coast come out like that. I just don't like the fact that they came out in celebration of one person over another, as far as in hip hop. The fact that no one's came out, and no one but really the Game, he's halfway came out and defended Drake, helped Drake out a little bit. And I do say halfway. But it ain't his beef. But he did take Rick Ross completely out of the picture. I hadn't seen Rick Ross do any more trolling to Drake. So that was a damn good move by Game. Appreciate that. For us Drake fans, which I am now a self-proclaimed Drake fan, I'm a little irritated to the fact that it's still a solo thing. Now, here's the twist. Here is the twist, guys. Imagine, right? If Drake retaliates with some new material. I mean, he's went away for a little bit. When you go away for a little bit, that gives you time to think. When Kendrick dropped that Like Us verse, Like That verse, I'm sure it caught Drake by surprise, and he just went into the offense. Sometimes when you get hit in the mouth, you don't immediately need to swing. First thing you do is survey what's going on. Why'd he hit me in the mouth? What makes him feel so comfortable, right, that he can just swing on me? I'm sure he prepped for it. I'm caught by surprise, so I did not have time to prep. So if someone swings on you and hits you, best believe they've thought the thing through. They probably got a gun as well, probably got backup as well, and everything in position. You're the one caught by surprise. So if you get hit, you don't instantly react because everyone else is expecting you to instantly react. What you do is you survey, you look, make sure everything's everything, reassess, make sure you're safe, then attack. So right now, what Drake is doing right now, after just frantically going right at Kendrick, calling him out, I'm sure when Kendrick dropped that verse, he already had all these other songs done. If not all of them, he had most of them done. He was just waiting for Taylor Swift to get out of the way. It was like 1 week she had to do her stuff. The record label had him on hold. While he was on that hold for 1 week, he was making the rest of the music. Because if you listen to the battle, none of his songs are addressing any of Drake's songs. Maybe one. But Drake's songs are addressing all of Kendrick's songs. So Drake was making his real time because he wasn't expecting to be attacked. You don't just run around attacking people, walking around with your jealous heart and so forth and so on. I'm sure Drake was just knocking they bitches down, excuse my French. Not really paying attention to how these dudes are feeling. You know, some whole shit is some whole shit. So if Drake did some whole shit, I don't stand on that for sure. Can't run around doing whole shit. But there's a way you address somebody who's doing whole shit as well. But who am I to say? I mean, you know, some people like to make a profit off of the drama. So I get it. But yeah, Kendrick did a big show. It was at the Forum in California, out there in LA. Inglewood, California, actually. It was in Inglewood, the Forum. And it seemed pretty dope. The aesthetics were out of this world. It was a heavily blood gang influenced event. And to me, you know, and I used to run with the little North Carolina Bloods back in the days, years ago. I'm talking about years ago, right? But to me, I think to push that envelope and act like we don't necessarily see the fact that it's like the biggest elephant in the whole Forum, that it's a fucking blood event, you know? I think that was weird. The whole red thing was somewhat weird, but we're giving out Pulitzers and so forth and so on. Okay, that's what's up. You go to a Drake event, I don't think it's gang affiliated, you know? So you take the littlest